Point for 4-1.
Well, he's persisting with the serve, and it's reaping some reward, but I've always thought Agassi at his best is when he's hitting his serve, because he gets in a high percentage. Of course, there was a little change came over the Agassi because of the wrist problems he had. He then refrained from hitting it hard because of that bad wrist.
Well, that's a good response after that nightmare point. I mean, just basically watched the ball go by him and decided as to what to do. And doing well to hold that game and at least stay in contention in this opening set. But Kuerten still has the break, of course. 3-2.
Well, a very important game, really, for Agassi to have won, particularly because of that embarrassing situation during it. And having come through, he's just got to hope that he can strike it rich on his return of serve. But things do look just a little ominous, because Kuerten actually is not, I don't think, playing particularly well. He's playing much as he played in the final in Montreal against Woodruff, unlike when he played against Chang, when he was absolutely brilliant, as of course he was in the French.
Lovely evening, a very hot day, way up in the 90s. This is probably the nicest time of the day to both play and spectate. And
I mean, Agassi, I suppose, is a two-time champion here. Very much almost feeling that this is his backyard, as Becker and Sampras described Wimbledon. Really gets well prepared for those backhands. Gets the racket well back and virtually points the butt of the racket at his opponent. So far does he take it back.
Agassi unable to make any sort of impression on the Kuerten serve in these early stages. So far, he's won just the 2 points.
Yes, and slow onto it, pushing out one hand instead of getting the two hands behind the return of serve. He's not going to have power with his one-handed return. And it's not that Kuerten's serving that hard. It is pretty fast here, mind you, but still Agassi's been able to deal with fast serves on fast conditions.
Just trying to remember if when I last saw Andre play without either a cap or a scarf on his head. Very unusual. Second ace.
taste of his own medicine there. You've got to accept a few of those, but healthy signs of that ace of Agassi, that the serve is beginning to feel a bit better for him.
Yes, and there's another good first serve from Agassi. Stays in touch once again in this opening set, but he's got to find a way of breaking back. 4-3, Kuerten leads. The early statistics, both of them serving reasonably well. Kuerten particularly can be pleased with that 64%. Agassi not so happy with the 11 unforced errors. 4-3, Kuerten and serving. And there's his fourth ace.
Well, just every now and again, glimpses of vintage Agassi. Of course, he'd be up for this match, unlike when he played Kuerten in Memphis. That was prior to Kuerten's winning of the French. Sometimes players just, well, are not as inspired, really. But when they play a winner of a major, you are inspired. And a lot more pressure on Kuerten, really, as a result now. Everybody expects.
And for every opponent, you're a target to be shot at.
Well, that's a bit uncalled for, but one can perhaps understand where their sympathies lie.
His first double fault. Well, if you are a supporter of Agassi, I suppose you can clutch at straws that was possibly his most positive returning game. Now he has to hold serve to stay in this opening set. 3-5.
Yes, one of the problems for Agassi is that there really have never been in-betweens. He's a man who sees a ball coming and likes to hit it. He likes to win his points quickly. He's not one for pushing, hitting balls high above the net. So consequently, the timing has got to be like Kuerten's timing on that shot for Agassi.
2 set points. Just about to say he ends the first set as he started with a double. Very lucky. lifted that one again. And Gustavo Kuerten breaks for the second time to wrap up the opening set by the margin of 6 games to 3. Just overruled the match from Lasgraf. And when you're having one of those nights, you're having them. And poor old Andre Agassi. Nothing is going for him at all.
Yeah, certainly looked quite a bit better, even though he missed that easy mid-court shot. But noticeably in the last point, not a bad serve from Kuerten down the middle of the court, and Agassi was over there quickly with his two-hander. Kuerten does hit that serve well, the one right down the middle, particularly to the right court. And you've really got to be quick onto it. But Agassi's been able over the years to deal with the Samprases of this world, the Beckers on their serves, the Ivaniseviches. Kuerten shouldn't really be a problem.
My word, Murphy Jensen, the latest to join the shaven-headed brigade. Murphy and Luke, of course, Jensen brothers.
Yes, I think they won their opening round match against Josh Eagle and Andrew Florent of Australia. Good win for them in 3 sets.
We've got an Anglo-South African partnership. I've seen Wayne Ferreira and Tim Henman are playing with each other. First round draw though. They're up against Rafter and Philippoussis. Brad Gilbert, the coach of Andre Agassi, of course, looking a little bemused by it all. Tough time for him.
Well, he played a tremendous role, I believe, in honing Agassi and getting him sharp. 95 year, just an absolutely brilliant year for him when he won so many titles. Day in and day out, when you think he won Washington, the Canadian, this tournament in New Haven, 4 big tournaments virtually on the trot. And it wasn't as if he was beating monkeys in the final too. He's beaten the likes of Edberg and Chang and Sampras, Krajcik in the New Haven final.
Second double. Yes, this year he won the Australian Open, San Jose, Key Biscayne, Washington, Montreal, Cincinnati and New Haven. But lost the match he wanted most, the final of the US Open, to Sampras. And to my mind, that result was probably a very pivotal one. Andre, who I think felt that if he was playing well, no one could beat him. But he did play well that day, and he still lost.
Yes, I think he was kidding himself if he felt that way, because he's never had the innate confidence of a Sampras. He's always believed, really, that the men with the big serves are dangerous, particularly Sampras. And in some ways one can understand it, because Agassi's great strength, of course, is his return of serve, and when people are able to puncture it, they puncture his confidence.